welcome back to my channel. I'm Giovanna and I'm an incoming medical student and I'm starting school in less than 1 week. And in today's video, we're going to talk about the lovely topic of federal student loans. It's stressful to put yourself in so much debt, and I haven't had anyone actually sit down with me and give me the lowdown on how these federal student loans work, so that's what I'm going to do for you all today. Before we go into the actual calculations you need to make and the steps you need to take for you to take out your loans, let's first do a little crash course on what these federal student loans are. So you'll likely be offered both federal direct unsubsidized loans as well as federal direct Grad Plus loans. So let's start out by looking at these federal direct unsubsidized loans first, since you're going to want to take these loans out first before using any of your federal direct Grad Plus loans, since those Grad Plus loans are at a higher interest rate. But most people who are using loans to fund their entire education are going to need to take out both the federal direct unsubsidized loans and their federal direct Grad Plus loans eventually to cover their cost of tuition and fees as well as all of their costs of living. So what you need to know about the federal direct unsubsidized loan is that it has a set interest rate that won't change over the course of your entire loan. And that interest starts accumulating from the day your loan is dispersed. My interest rate for the loan that I'm taking out this year is 4.3%. So let's look at how I actually found this information.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to log on to the studentaid.gov website. Once we're there, we're going to go to the Understand Aid tab, and then you're going to click on Loans. And then, once that loads, we're going to click on the question on the sidebar that says, why should I take out federal student loans? Trust me, I ask myself that question every day. And then you're going to click on the hyperlink here for interest rate on federal student loans. And by the way, this for me was the most helpful page on the website. So you're going to scroll down and you're going to find this chart here. And then you're going to see that as a medical student, so you're going to be considered a graduate or professional borrower, and for the direct unsubsidized loans for this year, the interest rate is 4.3%. Okay, and these loans also come with a one-time loan fee. So if you click on the tab over here saying, are there any fees for federal student loans? Click there, and it'll show what the fees are. And so for me, this fee is going to be 1.059%. So what's up with this percentage? Well, they'll calculate 1.059% of the amount of loan that you request for, and then they're going to subtract that amount from what they actually give you. So I'm requesting $42,000, and then 1.59% of that is $444.78. So before I get that loan, they'll subtract $444.78 from my $42,000 so that the actual amount of money I get for me to use is going to be $41,555.22. So federal direct Grad Plus loans work the same way in that they have a set interest rate and a loan fee that's subtracted from what you request from it. And so you'll see if you scroll back up to that first chart that we looked at, you'll see that their interest rate is going to be 5.3% for the Direct Plus loans for this academic year. And then their loan fee is going to be 4.236%.
So how does this interest actually work? Well, your interest grows daily. So let me show you how to calculate how much your interest is going to grow in a day using my numbers. So I'm at exactly $42,000 in a federal direct unsubsidized loan that's at an interest rate of 4.3%. So I'm going to take that $42,000 and I'm going to multiply that by my interest rate, and then I'm going to take that number and divide it by 365 for the number of days in a year. That's $4.95 a day in interest. So most people can't pay that off because they're not making money during medical school and you don't actually have extra savings in order to actually pay for your interest as it accumulates. But also that $4.95 is quickly going to become so much more as school goes by and you start taking out more and more loans, and each loan will have their own daily interest. And if you take out both a federal direct unsubsidized loan as well as a federal direct Grad Plus loan every year over the course of the next 4 years of medical school, that'll end up being 8 loans as well as 8 daily interests for you to pay off. Well, you're allowed to not pay off your interest while you're in school, but know that your interest is going to start accumulating from the day that your loan is dispersed to you. And eventually it will capitalize onto your loan's principal balance 6 months after you graduate. What? Hold on, that was too many fancy words. So your principal balance is the amount of money you took out. In my case, for this year, my principal balance is $42,000. And my interest of $4.95 a day ends up being $1,806.75 a year. So let's say that I let this interest accumulate over the course of the next 4 years of medical school as well as the 6 months after I graduate. That interest over 4.5 years is going to be $8,130.38. And then let's say that I didn't pay off that interest because I didn't have an extra $8,000 lying around. So then once those 4.5 years are up, that $8,000 would eventually be capitalized on, and then that means that that $8,000 would be tacked on to my original principal balance of $42,000. And then my new balance would be a lovely $50,130.38. So then the interest that accumulates from then on is going to be based off of my new loan balance of that $50,000 and not the original $42,000. And that means then that my daily interest is going to go up from $4.95 to the new $5.91. And that, my friends, is why so many people talk about having such a hard time paying off their loans. It's because a lot of times when you're finally able to start paying off your loans, the minimum amount that you owe each month may not even be enough to cover all of the interest that you owe to avoid it from capitalizing. So you could be paying, but your loan balance just keeps growing because you're not paying off your full interest and you haven't even gotten a chance to start paying off your principal. See, this is why I've been crying a lot lately. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's start talking about the steps that you need to take when taking out a loan for medical school. So first, figure out how much money you'll actually need for the full year. Make sure that when you add up all of your expected costs, you're taking into account all of the tuition and fees, as well as all of your fixed living costs, meaning all of the costs that you have to take on that you can't change. So I'm talking about rent. If you have your own health insurance and you're not on a parent's plan, you have to take that into account. And then also if you have a car insurance fees, and so on. And then estimate to your best ability what your controllable living costs might look like. And these include food, utilities, laundry, gas, etc. Since these fees vary so much based on where you're living, I'd recommend you actually use the cost breakdown sheet that your school should supply you with in order to use those for your estimates, especially if you've never lived in that place before. It's really hard for you to actually come up with an idea of what you think these costs might look like. It does seem like some of the expected costs that the schools give you are a little bit higher than what most people might actually end up needing, but I do think it's a good starting point. Now that you have an estimate of the amount of money you'll need for the full year, that's the amount of loans that you'll want to take out. And the amount of loans that you accept is going to be split 50-50 for each semester when it's dispersed. So for example, I've requested $42,000 in a federal direct unsubsidized loan, and so that means that $21,000 of that is going to be dispersed now in August for my fall semester, and then the other $21,000 is going to be dispersed only in January for my spring semester. And the same thing goes for the federal direct Grad Plus loans. And this is good because you don't want to owe interest for loan money that you're not even spending. And I certainly didn't want to be sitting here with $21,000 in my bank account that I wasn't going to need until January and have to be owing interest on that. And remember to take into account that your loan fees are going to be deducted from the amount of loans that you request before that money is even dispersed to you. So if you know you'll need $42,000 and you have a loan fee of $444.75 that's going to be deducted from it, then you should ask for more money in order to make up for it. So in this case, if I needed $42,000 exactly, then I'd probably request more like $42,500 just to be safe. If you have savings or cash that you decided that you want to use in order to help pay for medical school, the earlier the better. And this is because you want to avoid as much interest accumulation as possible. And since your interest grows daily, every single day of not having that interest does make a difference. Also, know that you can accept as little or as much of the loans offered to you as you'd like. You are in control of how much you want to take out. Generally, the rule of thumb is for you to take out the minimum that you think you'll need, and then as time goes on, as the year goes on, and you think you need more money, you can just ask for it. I know that in my school, that if you ever need any more money, you can just walk into the financial aid office and let them know, and they'll help you get more money into your account. So once you have decided how much money you want to take out in loans, your school is likely going to ask you to complete two things. One is going to be the online entrance counseling, and then the second thing is the Master Promissory Note, or MPN that they call it, and both are found on the studentaid.gov website that we went to. You'll be prompted to enter your school's name so that a record of you having actually completed these two tasks can be sent directly over to your school so that they know that they can now disperse the loan to you. The entrance counseling is a short tutorial for you to understand a little bit more about your loans. It has a few YouTube video links that they have on there, and I didn't particularly find it very useful for myself, but it's a start, and hey, you might like it. And the Master Promissory Note is the actual terms of your loan, and it's used as a legal agreement that you're going to pay your loans back. So actually try to read through it and really try to understand it as much as you can before you sign it. You'll have to fill out another Master Promissory Note for every different type of loan that you take out. And so if you're also taking out a Federal Direct Grad Plus loan, make sure to do a separate MPN for that as well. And my school actually makes you fill out a form for the school if you do want to take out the Federal Direct Grad Plus loans. So just make sure to check with your school to see if there's any additional paperwork that they would want from you as well. So finally, you'll log on to your school's portal, whatever system it may be, and that's where you're going to go in to accept your loans. The actual student loan acceptance is not going to be through the studentaid.gov website. It is through your school. Once your loans are dispersed, your school is likely going to already take their portion for your tuition and fees, and the rest of your loan is going to be deposited into your bank account, assuming that you signed up for direct deposit through your school. And that part of the loan that's in your bank account will now be able to be used for your living costs. Friends, I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions at all, I may be able to answer them, and so just leave them in the comments down below, and I'd love to help. And as always, please like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Bye, everyone.